तो
सर एक्चुअली मेरा एक डाउट पे था, हम बिजी मतलब तो इसलिए वहाँ पे अटेंड नहीं कर पाए। बाद में तो फिर आपको शायद मैसेज भी किया था मैंने
यस
वहाँ पे
यस भाई।
व्हाट्सएप।
सो लाइक मतलब ऐसा हुआ ना कि अक्टूबर बैच का किसी ने ज्वाइन ही नहीं करा। एंड लाइक लास्ट 2 दिन सेशन से तो मतलब मैम को भी इन्फॉर्म करना ज़रूरी था, लाइक कि मैम अटेंडेंस नहीं है, सो इस वजह से ही बोल दिया। ठीक है। सो एक काम करते हैं, आप मुझे बता दो आप लाइक किस टॉपिक पे हो, उसी के अराउंड या फिर उससे एक दो टॉपिक्स पे हम डिस्कशन कर लेते हैं, ठीक है।
ओके सर, हम तो अभी वही स्किल टेस्ट ही कर रहे हैं। स्किल टेस्ट में दिक्कत आ रही है सर।
अच्छा, आप मतलब स्क्रीन शेयर करोगे?
स्किल टेस्ट एक एक हो गया मेरा। एक तो
हम्म।
हम बना के डिप्लॉय भी कर दिया और दूसरा वाला में दिक्कत है।
ओके, ठीक है। सो लाइक मतलब कैसा है उसमें?
उसमें सर हो गया सब कुछ, बट बीच में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत आ रहा है, जैसे अब विड्थ उसकी कम हो जा रही है अपने आप, जो होम स्क्रीन है उसकी। हम्म।
ओके।
और सर यहाँ पे मैंने एक कंडीशन लगाया था कि जो
हम्म।
अगर इमेज ना मिले या अगर जो इमेज की यूआरएल अगर ना ले, जैसे कि यहाँ पे लगाया है, देखिए सर, डेटा डॉट इमेज डॉट यूआरएल इक्वल टू नल। तो
हम्म।
कार्ड कंटेनर डॉट इनर एचटीएमएल में ये जाएगा, और अगर नहीं है तो फिर एल्स में जाएगा ये, और लास्ट में रिटर्न कार्ड कंटेनर।
ओके, सो मतलब कि ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है क्या?
मैंने यहाँ पे नॉर्मली कोई भी मतलब लोगो उठा के मार्वल का लगा दिया है यहाँ पे, बट
हम्म।
हो नहीं रहा है, मतलब मार्वल की लोगो डिस्प्ले नहीं हो रही है जब जब मतलब इमेज नहीं मिल रहा तो। और ये इसकी विड्थ अपने आप कम हो रही है सर, ये देखिए। जबकि इसकी विड्थ हाइट मैंने कोई सेट कर नहीं रखी, बस खाली विड्थ सेट कर रखा है। मैं इसका भी
ओके।
सीएसएस एक बार आपको दिखा देता हूँ। ये देखिए सर, रिजल्ट कंटेनर, इसका सिर्फ विड्थ सेट किया, हाइट सेट किया नहीं है, तो भी मतलब हाइट मतलब कम हो जा रहा है अपने आप से।
ओके, एक बार जाना वापस, हाँ। सो रिजल्ट कंटेनर पे देखना इंस्पेक्टर ने।
एक मिनट सर।
ठीक है,
ये
इसको
रहा।
हाइट दो 100 VH।
ठीक है।
ठीक है।
हाइट तो अभी दे दिया सर, बट अभी एक दिक्कत और आएगी जिसमें आपको दिखाता हूँ।
हम्म।
देखिए मैंने यहाँ पे अगर बहुत सारा आ गया ना सर, 100 VH से अगर एक्सीड कर गया इसका,
हम्म।
तो फिर ये ऐसा आ जाएगा कि यहाँ पे आधा ही मतलब 100 VH तक ही कलर आएगा इसका, बैकग्राउंड कलर। बाकी
ओके।
फिर ऐसा वाइट आने लगेगा।
सो लिखो मिनिमम हाइट, मिन हाइट कर दो, मिन डैश हाइट। ठीक है, अब देखना।
ठीक है। अभी तो ठीक
एंड
है।
एक बार उसको रिफ्रेश करो, देखो अगर रिजल्ट्स नहीं होते हैं तो क्या हो रहा है।
अच्छा, इसको एक बार पहले वहाँ पे भी तो लगाना पड़ेगा। हम्म, अभी ठीक है सर।
ओके, सर्च करो।
हम्म, अभी ठीक है।
ठीक है।
तो ठीक है। अभी बस यहाँ पे इसमें इमेज का देखना है, इमेज क्यों नहीं आ रहा।
आई गेस वो यूआरएल की इशू हो सकती है।
हाँ, तो उसको हम लोग हैंडल तो कर रहे हैं, बट सर यहाँ पे लाइक डेटा डॉट इमेज डॉट यूआरएल अगर एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग है
हम्म।
तो ऐसा आना चाहिए। एक बार देखना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे डेटा,
ओके,
डेटा
इसको हटा
इमेज
दो।
यूआरएल को
एक
प्रिंट करके
इक्वल्स टू को हटा दो।
इसको।
हम्म। और वो स्ट्रिंग भी हटा दो। हम्म।
तो
रन करो।
यहाँ पे लाइक अगर नल नहीं है, एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग है, तब हम लोग को ये लगाना है। अगर एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग नहीं है तो फिर ये वाला चलना चाहिए सर, डेटा इमेज यूआरएल। ये आ
आ,
जाएगा।
अच्छा, सो ये नीचे वाले को ऊपर कर दो ना, मतलब कंडीशन चेंज कर दो। इसको इफ कर दो और
अच्छा
ऊपर वाले
हाँ।
को एल्स कर दो। इसको कट करके इसके नीचे पेस्ट करो, इसके हाँ, या फिर ऊपर, ठीक है चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। इस वाले को वहाँ पेस्ट कर दो।
भी नहीं आ रही है।
ओके, एक बार कोड में जाना वापस। आ, दोनों इफ एल्स हैं। हाय जीशान। ओके, सो इफ डेटा इमेज यूआरएल, तबिश एक काम करो, लाइक जस्ट प्रिंट व्हाट इज कमिंग, मतलब कि एक बार कंसोल करना डेटा इमेज यूआरएल को दोनों में।
हम्म,
जस्ट ट्राई दिस आउट, अदरवाइज देखते हैं इसको। ओके, लेट्स सी। ओके, सो ओके, सो वी कैन सी दैट दो रिक्वेस्ट फेल हो रही हैं यहाँ पे इमेजेस के लिए, राइट?
हाँ सर।
ठीक है, सो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली आई गेस दीज टू आर द इमेजेस। हाँ, यस, ठीक है, सो ये दोनों इमेजेस फेल हो रही हैं। सो 1386 1386। ओह, ओके 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 ओके। सो यू गॉट द पॉइंट, क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? यू हैव द यूआरएल है, सब में यूआरएल है, बट इमेज नहीं आ रही, मतलब कि फेल हो रही है, इसीलिए आपकी कंडीशन काम नहीं कर रही है। गेटिंग द पॉइंट? डेटा इमेज
यस
यूआरएल
सर।
किसी केस में नल नहीं है। ठीक
अच्छा,
है,
यहाँ पे ऐसा आ रहा है, पेज नॉट फाउंड।
यस। Okay, in this case, when we are not getting any response from server, hmm, okay, so whenever we do a network request, आपने error handling की हुई है, देखो तो कोड में। और just let me check one more thing, guys. So there is one thing, whenever you will be applying a image, ठीक है, जब भी आप image apply करते हो, so let me check, do we have any fallback image in HTML? If that is the case, then we
फॉल
can.
बैक के लिए तो हम लोग सर वो अल्ट का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं और एक टेक्स्ट डिस्प्ले कर दें कि इमेज नॉट फाउंड ऐसा करके।
Uh, that is good.
अल्ट एट्रीब्यूट का यूज कर सकते हैं।
Okay, let me
तो
check.
फिर वैसा करेंगे सर तो ये सब इफ एल्स की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, एक ही बार में हो जाएगा फिर।
So you want to say that आप alt use कर सकते हो? Yeah, ठीक है, तो alt ही use
हाँ,
कर लेते हैं।
अल्ट एट्रीब्यूट यूज कर लें। बट
Yes.
हम चाह रहे हैं कि मतलब टेक्स्ट की जगह मतलब एक इमेज ही रहे, कोई मतलब रैंडम सी इमेज,
Hmm.
ये हम चाहते हैं।
Okay, let me check this out, ठीक है, and I will get back to you. ठीक है, I hope we have something. I'm not exactly remembering what is that, but ठीक है, I will get back to this. ठीक है, एक बार मैं देख लेता हूँ। So width issue is fixed, right?
ये सर विड्थ फिक्स्ड है और हाइट तो हमने अभी इसकी फिक्स कर दी।
Okay, okay. ठीक है. So let me share my screen and let's see some Node.js and React. ठीक है.
Sir, please revisit the concepts discussed in the last class because I was not able to attend because I was having a placement session, so that's why.
Okay. No worries. Like I will just recap the things one by one. Okay. Let me open the code. So I hope you guys have already installed Node.js on your machine. If you haven't, please do it. Till
Sir, I
then,
have installed Node and npm both.
Yes,
uh,
sir, I have installed. Yes.
okay, okay, that's good. Okay, let me share once. So, ठीक है. The idea behind any full stack application is we know that there is client and a server. ठीक है. Till now, the okay. What do we mean by client? Like, who is a client?
So who is using web screen, web page, like front side, which is on the front end side.
Okay. Yeah. So, can we say that whoever request for the resource is a client?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and whoever is serving that request is a server. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, the point is, Node.js will be used to create a backend application. A backend application means mostly server. ठीक है. अच्छा. So who will play the role of client? So either our browser can play the role of a client, our mobile application plays a role of client. So you see there are some Android applications or iOS applications. For example, if I take an example, let's take an example of um, maybe any e-commerce site, or let's say so we have app for coding ninjas also, right? The mobile app is there. Now the point is, if you see, you can just open it and watch videos, but the point is, are the videos really on your device?
No, sir.
Okay, it means that that application is just acting as a browser. ठीक है. So either you go in Chrome and watch, either you go on mobile phone and watch. So both of them are acting as a client. The main purpose is to make request. Now, how to make request, that part we have already covered in detail. I will just recap the thing. We already have learned about XHR, XML HTTP request. We have already seen fetch API. Okay. These are the methods to make a request. अच्छा. टेल मी whenever I try to type something in the browser. ठीक है. लेट्स से कि अगर मैं ब्राउज़र में कुछ भी ओपन करता हूँ, लेट्स से दिस आई एम ओपन. So whenever I type any address in like this address bar, what is the type of request I'm making? Type of request क्या है?
Sir, get
Yes, correct. So it is a get request. ठीक है. Remember method type भी हमने पढ़ा है. अदरवाइज अभी देखने ही वाले हैं. सो गेट इज देयर, पोस्ट इज देयर, पैच, पुट, डिलीट. ठीक है. सो दीज आर द रिक्वेस्ट. नाउ आई विल शो यू guys समथिंग. No, I don't want to show you error. I want to show you some request. So whenever I create a request, whenever I hit in the browser, so there are lots of get request going on. Okay. Currently, I will go to open my console and I will go to network tab. I will see lots of requests going on here. Okay, lots of requests are there. Here's a request. We have these filters. When I click on all, so I see type of document here. Style sheet is there, script is there. Okay, image is there. I'm more interested in any fetch request. Do we have any fetch request? Let's see. So whenever I say fetch XHR, I see that there is a fetch request also. Okay. And it is a get request over here. Now the whole point is, anything you see in this browser, everything is downloaded. Okay. The CSS you see, GitHub CSS, that is also here. JavaScript, that is also here. Any photo, image, anything you see, like my avatar is also here, so I can show you in the preview. You see this image, this is also in the request. Everything is requested from a server. So one thing we are pretty sure, how to make a request. Now how to make a server, that's the next point. Previous class, or like in the last session, what we did is we saw that we have two ways to create backend server. Okay, Node.js is so okay. What is Node.js?
uh,
What is Node.js exactly?
library. So
Mm, okay. Okay. So Node.js is JavaScript runtime engine. What do I mean by that? Now, in whole front end lecture, what we did, we just opened the console and we keep on typing this JavaScript code. Okay. But did we did we uh, did we ask like why is this JavaScript code running in the browser? When we were learning Java, either we had the online compiler in coding Jazz Classroom, otherwise we can download Eclipse and run Java code. So we need a engine to run or parse that code. So how is browser able to run this code? Any guesses?
browser has pre-installed environment. Node.
Yes, correct. So browser already has JavaScript runtime engine. Okay, that is why we are able to run the JavaScript code. The Chrome uses V8 engine. Okay, V8 engine which is made with the help of C++ programming language and livuv, and there is one more library. Okay, so these two three libraries like majorly form our V8 engine, Chrome V8 engine. What Node.js is built of is the same V8 engine, but outside the browser. Okay, outside the browser, I can run any JavaScript code. If I say Node, okay, I can now write a console here also. But this is only due to Node. If I do not have Node in my system, I will not be able to do this. See this data undefined. Isn't it similar to what we are getting in the browser?
So Node can only work in Chrome.
Node. No, see, okay. Very good question. I like, although it will not run, but the question is very correct. Will Node work over here? So the point is that only difference between front end and back end is your complete front end will run into browser. Okay? Your complete backend always remains on the machine. No backend code will come ever on the browser or client side.
No, sir, you said that Chrome use V8 machine and Node is based on that V8 machine.
Yes,
So
yes.
can we use Node on Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer?
Okay. See, they have their own JavaScript engine. Okay, that is, they have some Spider Monkey for Mozilla, and there is Chakra for Edge, and some other Internet Explorer has something else. So, like the architecture difference is there. Will not go in that depth, but yeah, they have other engines. Okay.
Node is only for Internet Chrome.
Yeah. So whatever the inner architecture of Node is there, the same is of Chrome's JavaScript engine also. Okay.
Okay.
So you can find it here also, but okay, that is not of our like most
Mhm.
concern. You can
Yes.
just see the first line itself. Okay.
Yes.
Build runtime built on Chrome. Okay, but like we do not need this now. Okay, let's focus on the main part. Acha. So coming back to the point, I will just exit. It means that not like this. So I can say CTRL-C. Yeah, so I'm done. Okay, okay. So dot exit is there. Okay, coming back to the point. So how will we create the server? So if I see in the last session, what we did is I took a array over here. Okay, I took a array over here, and basically this array is acting as a temporary storage for me. How did I create the server? So I created the server with the help of something called as Express. Now, tell me, what is Express? Is it a framework, library? What is it? Okay, there is a library we guys have used, jQuery. Okay, now jQuery is a library, whereas Express is a framework. So, but both methods we are using jQuery methods where we were using jQuery methods also and Express method also. What is the difference between a framework and a library? Okay, whenever we say framework, we have a skeleton ready for us. We should follow some rules to work to for the framework to work. Okay, we should follow some rules, at least some setup, in order for the framework to work. Okay, otherwise it will not work properly. Whereas when we say library, we can pick any method which we want. Okay, so we are in our control what method we want to use. So in jQuery, if I want the XHR request method, I will just use that. I do not need the DOM and all. But Express has some setup before you use Express. For example, you have to initialize it. You have to give the port number. You have to listen to this port. Okay. You have to listen to this port. Then you have to do the request handling. So these things are there. Now if you just like take I will take a minute and I will just recap what I have written. There are five type of requests we can do. First type of request is get a request. Get request solely has only one job, that is to what is that what is the job of get request?
Fetch the data from the servers.
Correct, that's it. So nothing else get will do. Okay, what is the job of post?
Post will like put the data on the server, update the data of the server.
Yeah, like yeah, correct. But we can say that to create a new entity, right? To be more precise.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just try to relate what we did. There is an array. This requested for the array. So I am just sending the resource. Okay. Array is a resource. List is a resource. We'll connect our database. We'll get the same thing. Array of objects. So any data is. I will be telling that as a resource. Okay. Whenever I say post, if you see carefully, I am pushing the data in the array. So I'm creating an entity, I'm adding something to my database. Here the array is the database, but yeah, the not the real database, but it is acting as a database. So this is post request. Delete, I'm just deleting. So delete request, I will be getting the ID and I'm just deleting it from the array with a splice method. Okay. Patching. So patch means to update any existing entity. Remember, patch means to update any existing entity. अगर वो आईडी एग्जिस्ट कर रही है सो उसके डेटा में हमें कुछ चेंज करना है तो वी कैन चेंज इट. And put is to update the entity if it is present. If it is not present, then add it. I will tell patch and put a request again. Patch means if it is available then only change it. Put means if it is available change it, but suppose this doesn't match, then I will add it. So this is the difference between put and patch. Put means update if existing, otherwise add it. Patch means if existing then only add it, otherwise do nothing. uh, is the type of request clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you carefully see, I can have all the different type of request here itself. Okay, but that is not a good idea. So what I will do is I will um, use something. Okay, I will use something, and okay, not let's not do node index.js. Let's do npm start. I can do npm start because I have already added this start script in my package JSON. What is the use of node mon?
Node won't automatically save and refresh till the
Correct.
server and then restart it.
Yes. Yes, very correct. So whenever there is a new save, we can just restart, right? Okay. What I will do is, I will. Okay. Now we see that we can write all the type of request here itself, but this is not a good idea. Okay. What if there are hundred of different request types? Then it is not a good idea to do this. Okay, I have used something called as app. So, okay, so this is initializing, nothing else. The second is port. Port number means whenever a request comes to my machine, I need to direct that request to a particular application. Okay, because everything is connected to internet. Now, whenever any data comes to my machine has to decide that where should I send this data. ठीक है either send to Chrome, either send to Zoom, either send to WhatsApp or whatever be whatever is present in my system. I have to decide it before I send the data. So this port number is the unique port ID where the network card sends the request. ठीक है so that is the same thing happening over here. I can only access my server with this port ID. Acha. So why do we not see the port number in other URLs? Let's say www.google.com. Why we do not see the port number there? Google is also having its server now, right? So it must be running on some port. Why do not we see the port? Any guesses?
So that code is defined on Google machine. You will not be able to.
Correct, because that is we can purchase a domain and we can ask the domain server to redirect that whoever is giving us the domain. You guys have seen the ad of like GoDaddy and all those things that domain providers. So like they mask your IP address and the port numbers because IP address and port number is not so interesting to remember. Who will remember the digits, right? Okay. Anyways, coming back to the point. Now, I will set up something called as, and before I set up, I want you guys to see something. Give me a minute. Okay, is it connected? Yes, it's connected. Okay. See, what I will be doing is I will be dividing my complete our complete backend in three parts. Okay, in three parts. We call it MVC. Anyone wants to try? What is MVC?
Yes, sir. Model view controller.
Okay, M for model, then V for view, C for controller. What we have already seen in these three.
We HTML and CSS.
Correct. So we have already seen the view part, right? मतलब HTML, CSS, JavaScript. ठीक है. So this part is already we are thorough with. ठीक है. There are many ways to do view because you guys will be going to learn React also. So you know that HTML is also an option and React is also an option. When you move further, Angular is there, Vue is there, but let's be on HTML and React. See, my point here is whatever request handler we are writing, okay, whatever request handler we are writing, that app dot get and URL is here कि ठीक है whatever be the URL, I will send you this particular response, let's say response number 30, whatever be the response. It can be student data, it can be teachers data, it doesn't matter. Like, the point is we are sending some response. Let's be 30. Model, on the other hand, is kind of, it has connection with the databases. Okay, it is kind of has a connection with database, and it will not be bad that it will not be incorrect if I say that this complete thing comes into model database, and database and how we handle database. Okay, so that everything will be coming in the database part. How these three connect is, you as a user go to a website, hit something, fill a form, request something. What do you do exactly is you send a request, or we send a request to the controller. That's it. This is the only thing a view can do. That's it. Nothing else at the power. Until and unless URL is correct, okay? Until unless URL is correct, and this user is a good user, means it is verified and something sort of things are there. Until unless this is the case, this is good. Okay, so the job of this is done. So he wants the request number or the resource number 30. Okay, whatever be it. It can be anything. So controller, now it is the job of controller to process the request. Okay, it is the job of controller to process the request. Now, two things can happen. Either your request has nothing to do with the database. Okay, what can be it? Let's say that you want to generate any random URL. See, this controller can do it anyways. That's it. No need to go to database, right? It can generate something random for you and it can supply you. Or you want some information about the server, so it can directly send you that this is the IP address and something sort of whatever be the case. Let's say you want a list of student. You work on let's say a school management system, and you want the list of student for a particular class. Just requested it. Okay, the controller will realize that there's something request coming to me. Now if it finds that it has something connection to the database, it will go to model. Okay, it will go to model, which in case is connected to database. Okay, which is in case connected to database, it will fetch data from database. That is a separate processing, which we do not have to generally care. We'll see, we'll use a package for this. Okay, data is processed, list of students is then returned back to the controller by this model and supplied back to the view. So this will be the thing we are going to develop. Every time we'll have some URL sending the request. Every time based on the URL, I will be connecting to the database. View makes the request. Controller can either directly send the response, or container like controller will be connected to the database and query something to the database and then send to the view. So this will be the complete architecture we are going to build, and this will be followed. There's no direct communication between view and model. There is only one way this view can. There is only one thing view can talk to, which is controller, and controller is acting something as a main part over here, which is being connected to both database and the view part. Coming back to the point, how do we do this exactly? So this thing we have already seen. ठीक है, controller और view तो हमने देख लिया कि we already created some dummy APIs, and ठीक है, we were good to handle those things. How do we deal with database? Let's see. I will create a folder. I will name it models, and I will create one more folder which is not inside models, which is inside our main directory. The name will be config. Next point will be, how are we going to set up the database? How are we going to set up the database? We are going to use something called as Mongoose JS. Guys, have you guys any have any like, or you guys know something about uh, like databases, or if you have used any databases previously?
No, sir.
Do you guys know about SQL? Little bit.
Just
No,
for SQL a bit. I tabular form. It is just like Excel. So just go.
Okay, Tavish. Like,
sir, I do not know about SQL.
okay. Anyways, the point is, we could be able to store data in our hard disk also. Okay, hard disk is can also be used to store. Acha, why cannot we use a RAM for storing a list of student for a school? Tell me that. Can I use RAM?
Once the system switch off, data is lost. You
Very
can
good.
store it in ROM.
Yes, that's a very valid point. And also the RAM is low memory space, right?
Yes.
Whenever you buy machine, ठीक है, जब भी आप सिस्टम कहने जाते हो, so you see that there is a hierarchy. You guys know about cache memory?
Cache memory. Yes, sir.
Maybe you have seen in your phone or something.
Clear cache.
Yes. So cache is a very high speed but low space data storage. Then comes the RAM, okay, which is high speed but not as cache. It has more space than cache. Then comes our storage. For example, hard disk here and phone storage is there in the phone. They have good speed, but the storage size is very high. So see, there is a balance. When you have very high speed, the size is low. But the point comes is whenever you are storing some large data, you can neither use cache, neither use RAM. The only way is to use your hard disk. Okay? Otherwise, any bigger storage. Now the point is, uh, for that we have to have a database. I cannot directly, okay, I can use directly a text file to store data and read data from it. So in some 2 3 classes before, we just tried to read a text file, and we were able to read a text file using node.js. You can read that. You can just go through the documentation. You can use the read file to read the file, complete file. But that is not an efficient method. Database, on the other hand, provide very efficient method for searching, sorting, and all these things. That is why we'll see something called as MongoDB. You guys have any idea about MongoDB?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Then have a go through. Share this. Okay. See, guys, one more thing from me. So, since we didn't had our previous class, if you guys want, then I can have a rearrange the class in the weekend. But you have to attend it, right? So, I how can I have a class if you guys don't come, right? So just be on time so that I can have the class. Okay.
Yes, yes. Sir,
Uh,
current timing will be into from 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Sir,
yes, you said.
7 p.m. is,
Uh, Please repeat.
sir, current time we reschedule at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. on weekends.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, weekends I'm fine. I'm fine on weekends. So, guys, are you free on Monday in the morning or afternoon? Sorry,
yes, sir.
Sunday. We
Yes, sir.
Sunday morning or afternoon, you guys are free.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So okay, I will share the link then. You can have a bigger discussion, because I have some meetings in the night, like my company is American, so see, they start in the night. Okay, so anyways, I'll just let's quickly cover 2 3 more things, and then we can just continue. So guys, do one thing. Okay, that's uh, that's for you only. Since we are going to be learning MERN, MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. Don't go through everything at once. Okay, just go through sequence, like keep it sequential. You can try setting up Express yourself. Okay, if you have not already done, try to set up Express, create all types of APIs. Okay, all is present in the documentation. I will share that link also. Everything is there in the documentation. Although linking is something which you guys, I will, don't worry, I will tell how to link all the things, both like four things, merge and stack, like how to link them. But before that, do one thing, please go through these things. Okay, so that will save my time and your time also. For exactly setting up Express, okay, let me check once more. So, not this. Otherwise, directly hit the. Okay, so very good. You can just come over here. Did you guys go through the documentation? Not yet.
So, these are provided in lecture, I think so. Sir has explained it very well in lecture.
Yeah, like I am saying because some things are new over here, right? So
Mm.
maybe you could have a look over here. Okay, that is why I'm
Yes, sir.
saying. Uh, I know like some things are in the lecture, but like you just try this out. Like you'll find some things are new
Yes,
also.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
what we'll be doing is we'll try to connect React with Node. Okay, and EJS I will tell separately because currently in the industry, EJS is, I'm not sure how much it is used, but I'm sure that React and Angular are used heavily with Node.
Yes.
Okay, so I will try to do that in the next session. Till then, try to set up this. Okay, although we can see one of the thing. Okay, let me set this up, then we can just wrap it up. Now, the point is we have something called as express router. Okay, how does this work? Let's see. This is interesting. We do not need this. Okay, how does the router work? You guys know about what is middleware? What do we mean by middleware?
No, sir.
Okay, let's see that. Okay, I want to show you something with this router. Now, let's say there are like high number of URLs in our backend. Okay, one thing I told is I cannot have all the URLs in the same system. That is for one thing. Okay, so what about the servers we like which has high number of URLs? How do they handle the routing? Routing, so routing means directing the request to some other place. Okay, instead of handling directly in the index file, I can direct that request or guide that request to some other file. So that is what express router is used for. I will just show this. These are some dummy things I'm creating, but yeah, they will be working for sure. And now I can require. Okay, so do you guys have Postman installed in your system?
No, sir.
Okay, please install Postman that you can. Do you guys know about Postman? Like, what is exactly Postman?
Mm. No, sir.
Okay, so it is a API testing tool. Okay, so we used to test APIs with it. Give me a minute. Mostly done. I will share this repo with you so that you guys can have a clear idea what's going on. Okay. So today I am setting up the routes, and the next session will be for controllers and the model setup. Okay. Okay. By this, I'm saying that whenever I receive a request which has blocks in it, all will be transferred to this file, this folder. Whenever we have post request, this will transfer to this folder. When we have home, so it will be transferred to the home path. Okay. Also, I also have get. It means that I can send the response from here also. So request a response, but this is not the correct place to send. We'll see this part. So I can say response dot JSON. Okay, response dot status 200 dot JSON. Okay, I can send the body. So what is we know about JSON, right? Any confusion in JSON?
No, sir.
Okay, that is good. Now, status code 200 means
It means that if it is successful, then this will execute. Status code 200 is used for success, indicating the success.
correct, very correct. So it is used for indicating success. Okay, just want to show something to you guys that how do we exactly set up the routing? Like if there is a very huge number of resources present, so how do we handle that? This is for blocks, and I will just use Postman once so that I can show something to you guys. See, this is the benefit of like going through the how to say documents. Okay, so you get to learn lots of things, and it will be really easier to go through these. Okay, so app dot logos. Okay, anyways, let's come back here. Now, I do not. I okay. So I need to say app dot use. I need to say app dot use required, and that's it. So any request comes. So what does this line mean? This line means that whatever request comes, slash means every request. Okay, slash means every request. Whatever request comes, I do not have anything. Please direct back to routes folder. Okay, if you hover over it, so you will see module this routes slash index. I have not written index over here, but why it is taking index? Any guesses? You see this index file? By default, मॉड्यूल सिस्टम टेक्स इंडेक्स एज द मेन फाइल, ठीक है, इसीलिए आई हैव नेम्ड दिस इंडेक्स जेएस. Like it's not that I am randomly naming the files, I am intentionally naming the files, ठीक है. Index is automatically taken, so it means that either I write index or not, it doesn't matter. Are you guys getting the point, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes.
ठीक है. Now I will just open Postman and I want to show you guys something. Okay, if I directly hit localhost 8000, let's see what I'm getting. And this is not a put request. Let it make it a get request. So this is Postman. Please install Postman on your system. Okay, we'll be using this to testing our APIs. Okay, I'll say get request to localhost 8000. Okay, so it is saying that this is a root URL. Okay, so this is a root URL. Now, if I see exactly what happened, the request came over here. I do not have any direct request handler over here. It came here and this was directed to or routed to this file. Okay. This file contain lots of URL. Is it blocks? No. Is it post? No. Homes? No. Is it slash? Yes. Slash means the home URL, localhost 8000. And what this is getting is this is a root URL, and that is what we are seeing. If I hit home, okay, let's see what I'm getting. It is going to home, which is very correct. So it is coming to blog, it is coming to post, it is coming to home. Okay. Now when it comes to home, it says please direct to this folder. So I'm coming to this folder and this is slash. So localhost 8000 slash home slash means this request and it is a get request. Similarly, I can do for blogs and posts also. This is routing. I have divided the routes based on their job. Okay, I have divided the routes based on their job. So this was the controller. Okay, we have something called as middleware. Middleware between. Okay, so inside this controller itself. Okay, inside the controller itself, this is my server getting the request. Okay, this is my server receiving the request. This is my controller which is responsible for handling the request. Between this there are several more functions we can add. We call these as middlewares. A request came to server, request came over here. We can do edit something, so this request becomes a request 1, this request 2, this request 3, this request 4 I'm getting over here, and I can send the response back to where it came from. Middleware has specific functions. For example, it can do routing, ठीक है, जैसा अभी हमने देखा react dot sorry express dot router we saw. It can do authentication. An example of authenticated page? Any example of authenticated page where you require sign in, sign up, something like that?
Sir, social media websites, Google, YouTube, etc.
Very correct. Very correct. So, see, if you hit youtube.com, it or if you say let's say facebook.com, that's a good example. Until and unless you sign into your profile, can you open it? No, right?
No, no, sir.
So the point is, if I'm saying this that this is MVC, make a request, get the response. Isn't it something in middle which is checking where the request coming from? Are you getting the
Yes,
point? Okay. So it is not directly going to the controller. It firstly there are some functions which act as a middlewares which checks is it authenticated, authorized, or where it is it coming from. And if you see there are some location based website also, okay, based on your location. If you open the Apple's website, so it will direct you to apple.in. It will not take you to .com. It means that someone is knowing that where the request coming from. Okay, so before it reaches the controller. So to handle these type of operations, we require middlewares. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now for the routing, what we did? How did we set up the routing? Uh, this was the home URL. Okay. Then we divided our home into three parts. This is home, this is blogs, and this is post URLs. So whatever URLs come to this point, they will handled by separate folders. Okay. And they can have their separate controllers. Okay. Instead of having all the controllers and URLs in the same file, I have just separated it. Now, tomorrow, you both guys come and say, "Sir, we want to create our own URLs. I want the URLs in our names." I'll say, "Yeah, please go on. You can add files over here in the routes. Please feel free to add." Right? So we do not need to add it in the same index.js. Make sense, guys? Guys, is it clear?
No, sir. Please explain once again.
Okay, I'm saying that I have a separate folder for routes because suppose that tomorrow you come with two different URLs more. So you know what to do. You do not need it to add in the same folders or in the same file. You can just create a new folder. Let's say you want to create a payment route. So you can just create a payment folder and have payment URLs instead of having all the URLs in the same place doing get post get post. You can separate
Yes.
it, right? So that is the whole point of router. Did you guys like got the points what we discussed?
Yeah.
Um, okay, Zisan, is it clear to you also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys are like getting the some idea of backend what we are where we are heading towards. Okay, we'll do all MVC, but in the way we have to learn some more things. For example, middleware we learned, router we learned. So we'll see the database and other things in the next session. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I wanted to ask, like, do we need to install Express also?
Find out. Yes, find out. Find out.
Like, as like we use today Express, so do we need to install like Node separately in VS Code?
I have shared the link with you. Please find out and let's meet in the next session. Otherwise, I'm always there for help. But yeah, please, I want you guys to go through documentation. That's very, very important. Okay.
Sir, I have missed many JavaScript sessions, sir. What should I do?
JavaScript session about which topic?
So I think all of the topics, sir. I was not off topic as this.
Hmm. Lots of topic. Um. Okay. Like, see, if there is some smaller doubt, I can take any time. But okay, let me. Or what you can do is you can just have a chat with batch manager, and we can then have a session separately, right?
So, sir,
Just
recording session, can you share recording session? I will check.
yeah, I already dropped them on YouTube. I will share the link with you. Okay, it's already okay. Let me check. Let me check. Give me a minute. Let me open YouTube. And I added some of the JavaScript lectures though. The problem is Zoom is logged for me, so that is why I'm taking session on Google Meet. So maybe you can ask Jam M once for the session. Can you ask Jam M?
Yes, yes.
So for the because previous session all were on Zoom, so please ask her. Like I need OTP, but I do not have the OTP. I'm taking on
Okay,
Google
sir.
Meet. Okay, okay,
Thank
guys. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next session. Bye, guys.
thank
क्या हुआ? कहाँ जाना है? मार मेट्रो वाला टॉपिक्स. अरे आगे 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 टॉपिक्स. कौन सा है? कौन सा है? सदत से आराम. टॉनस. अरे यार शिटिंग हो गया. कल सुबह ही फोन करेंगे पेटीएम वालों को.